Hello, fellow cynicists. My name is Ian, and today we're talking about fake news. Fake news articles and broadcasts have been running around the internet for, well, about as long as the internet's been a thing, but it goes back even further than that. One of the first examples of fake news dates all the way back to the 13th century BC. Shortly after the Battle of Kadesh between the Egyptians and the Hittite Empire in 1274 BC, Ramses the Great went around spreading lies about the battle, claiming it was a swift and decisive victory for the Egyptian forces and sharing stories of how he proved to be a truly formidable foe in battle, striking down waves of enemies by himself. These were, of course, entirely false claims, as the treaty between the Egyptians and the Hittite Empire states that there was no victor and that a resolution had been found as a draw. In the 1st century BC, Mark Antony killed himself due to misinformation and rumors about Cleopatra. In June 1897, New York papers reported that Mark Twain had passed away, to which the man himself stepped forward to say that the claims were false, stating, "The report of my death was an exaggeration, and that he did not know whether to be amused or annoyed with the falsifications." Basically, lies have been spread throughout massive media outlets for literal millennia, so it's no surprise to find them creeping all over the spider web that is the internet. One particular piece of information that crept across my feed the other day was this gem. Coca-Cola recalls Dasani water after clear Parasite worm was found in bottles across US, accompanied with this incredibly reliable image. I originally decided to just dismiss it as the falsehood that it appeared to be, but after noticing a few distressed shares and commenters, I figured I should maybe talk about this. So, here we go. At first glance, this article fires off a couple red flags, like everything. Let's briefly take them on one at a time. When trying to determine if any piece of published information is trustworthy or not, there are a few steps you can take. Step 1, look at the URL. If the extension is .gov, .edu, or .org, then it can usually be trusted, but you should still be careful with this last one here. If the extension is .com, .net, or .co, then you should probably take everything you read there with a grain of salt. This particular news website is a .co, which is somewhat deceiving. Originally, .co was the country extension assigned to domains within Colombia. Now, however, it has a widely spread unofficial designation as the company extension internationally. What does this mean? Well, essentially, it means that just about anyone, just about anywhere can register their site as a .co, no matter what it represents or how accurate the information on the site will be, and it will look like a legitimate and trustworthy website. False news companies love this extension for that reason. Step 2 is to look at who the author of the article is, which in this case is no one. The author is usually listed right around here or here, but in this case there is no publicly recognized author, which immediately discredits everything written. For all we know, this could be someone's ill-researched school paper, or more likely, completely plagiarized from somewhere else. If you're still unsure of the page's credibility, step 3 is to actually read the article, keeping an eye out for any spelling and grammar mistakes, like, for example, not putting spaces in between every word, non-quoted quotes, and this lovely variant of the word chemically. Also, this article is incredibly short and only has one recorded witness account. Any credible news source wouldn't hesitate to give you pages upon pages of reading material and witness statements regarding a situation as massive as this. Step 4 is to take a good look at any additional media they provided, like this image. Be scrutinous, break it down for everything it's got. Here's what I found on this picture alone. The news band across the bottom is from a very ambiguous news company called News 4, which, if we check, is not this webpage. It is also not listed anywhere in their sources, which we'll get back to in a moment. So, a quick Google search reveals 2 links of interest. One takes us to the original posting of the article, which is the exact same thing word for word as this one here, bar this little addition. They even have the same grammar issues. Remember that bit about plagiarizing a little while ago? For all we know, this could be someone's ill-researched school paper, or more likely, completely plagiarized from somewhere else. You are welcome to perform the same credibility check on this article as the last one, but I can assure you it's not really doing any better. The other link of interest is this one, which takes us to Snopes.com, a popular fact-checking website, talking about how there has been no such recall and that this is a false claim from 2016. This isn't even new. World Story literally just found an old fear-mongering article and did the old reliable Control-C, Control-V. Ugh. Wow, that was quite the rabbit hole. Anyway, this image has some other things wrong with it, such as this little bit, but I won't go into too much detail on anything else here. What even is that? A fishing lure? Some water-based gel with an eye lazily photoshopped onto it? The final step, step 5, is to check the sources. If there are none, then just like not having an author, all credibility is gone. This page does actually have one source listed, albeit not in any proper citation format, The source in question is olivepregnancy.com, which sounds like an odd place to find information on events that should be concerning the WHO and CDC. Also, just a side note, this doesn't actually tell you which page or article on Olive Pregnancy they sourced from. It just tells you that it was from olivepregnancy.com. That's like someone asking you for the link to the specific webpage you got information from and you telling them Wikipedia. It's not very helpful. If we follow this URL, we find out that it's actually a dead link and doesn't even connect to a real website. I would maybe give them the benefit of the doubt and say that this is maybe an old article and their source website got renamed in that time, but I can't even do that because they didn't give a publishing date. I'm calm. So to wrap things up, no, clear parasitic worms have not been found in Dasani water bottles, there has been no such recall, and there is no credibility to anything stated in these articles. Why do people do this? I don't really know. Maybe they get all warm and fuzzy inside after inducing mass panic, or maybe they just really suck at checking their facts. Either way, this story has been debunked. Please feel free to check my sources in the description below, and thank you all so much for watching. This has been Ian with Cynical Science, and I look forward to the next one. Bye-bye.